Paul Walker's death in 2013 was the result of a devastating car crash, but there was more to it than a high-speed vehicle. Months after the accident, the actor's autopsy report was released, and its details are chilling. Movie star Paul Walker died at the age of 40 in an explosive car crash in November 2013. The Fast and Furious franchise actor was killed when a sports car he was riding in crashed and went up in flames in a single-vehicle accident in Santa Clarita, California. The driver and friend of Walker's, Roger Rodas, was also killed in the crash that was caught on video by a witness. Walker's death was a devastating loss to his family, friends, and fellow actors who worked with him in the Fast and Furious films. A lot of suspicions loomed about what caused the fatal car crash and the specifics on how it took his life. The fact that no other car was involved in the accident raised a lot of questions. People wondered if speed, drugs, or a mechanical error was at fault. It would take several months before a full autopsy report was released. Paul Walker was born on September 12, 1973 in Glendale, California to Paul and Cheryl Walker. He was the first of 5 children, with 2 brothers and 2 sisters born after. His acting career kicked off in 1984 with his debut in the TV series Highway to Heaven. In 1986, he earned his first movie role as Professor Bennett in the horror comedy film Monster in the Closet. Walker would continue acting on various TV shows from the late 80s into the early 90s. He starred in other notable films of the 90s, such as Varsity Blues and She's All That.
I'll pick the girl. And you got 6 weeks to turn her into the prom queen.
But his big acting break would come in 2001 when he was cast in the premiere film of the Fast and Furious series as his character Brian O'Connor. The role propelled Walker into Hollywood stardom, and he was one of the most recognizable faces of the films. Walker continued to star in most of the series' sequels. The final film he worked on, Furious 7, would come out after his death in 2015. Walker was survived by his family and only child and daughter, Meadow, who was 15 years old when he died. In January 2014, the Los Angeles County Coroner released the autopsies of both Walker and Rodas, according to the Los Angeles Times. It showed that on November 30, 2013, speeding was the main cause of the accident. It explained that the Porsche Carrera GT was going 100 miles per hour when it crashed into a curb. The autopsy also stated that the high speed led to loss of control of the vehicle, causing it to spin several times before catching on fire. Most importantly, despite a lot of early speculation, drugs and alcohol were ruled out as contributions, as no trace of the substances were found in Walker or Rodas. However, the grim details about the states of their bodies were also made public. According to the report, Walker was so burned beyond recognition that his hair and eye color could not be identified upon examination. The autopsy said he sustained a lot of head trauma, broken bones, and injuries to his arms. It even revealed that a portion of his skull was exposed and nearly his entire body was charred from the crash. Yet it specifically mentioned that Paul Walker died of, quote, traumatic and thermal injuries, which suggests that the fire played as significant a role in his death as the impact from the crash. Walker's sudden and tragic death was one of Hollywood's shocking deaths in recent years. But in 2018, his mother Cheryl told People magazine that, despite the nature of how Walker died, she wants her son to also be remembered beyond his talents on the screen. She said, "I think so many people think, oh, he was just a movie star who was killed in a car accident, but there was so much more to him. That was just a piece of who he was. He was an amazing man." His mother, along with other people who were close to the actor, talked about him in a documentary titled I Am Paul Walker.